this is too little too late. Why I'm saying too little too late is $6 million is not enough. Early this year, we had sent a letter to the government that we need at least $13 million just for the 4 cannons to equip the highly risk area, the businesses in New Zealand. And we are talking about the ram raids, we are talking about the assaults, we are talking about serious crime. As you know, the serious crime is up 31% in New Zealand. Now, after this announcement, the question arises, which retail sector they're talking about? There are 2 retail sectors. The one retail is the shops which are in shopping malls, which are in busy streets. And another sector is this one, what you're looking at here, is the dairies all over New Zealand, which I'm talking about 4,000 dairies. They have a different geography, different modus operandi, and the crime they are facing is completely different. They are facing the most serious crime in New Zealand, all right? So what we were looking at is if we had to really address the issues right now, first of all, the government need to admit, they need to acknowledge that there is a problem. There is a serious problem. There is a retail crime emergency in New Zealand, right? And that need to be dealt with. There's no harm in admitting the emergency, retail crime emergency, because that's the first step to move forward if we have to address this one. So what we were looking at out of this announcement, our expectations were, we want more visible police. We want the police working closely with the businesses, and building relationships, and also getting the information on the offenders. So, and we were looking at more funding for the CCTV cameras, for the more lighting in the lots of places which are dark areas. If you go to CBD, go to so many suburbs, then those dark areas are basically the paradise for the criminals, right? And we were looking at the artificial intelligence to get the information that police really wants. The 4 cannons, they have been really a good deterrent. But to install those 4 cannons, as I rightly said, it requires nearly $13.5 million right now. So $6 million is not going to, we are talking about just 500 dairies, as Minister has mentioned, but here we are talking about 4,000 dairies, right? So how are you going to pick up 500 dairies out of 4,000 dairies who are really facing the crime throughout New Zealand? And the bollards, we also need to take the Minister of Environment and also Minister of Local Government on board, because to get the bollards, you would have to go through the RMA process. That's going to be a serious process in itself. So we haven't heard how it is going to be implemented. The offenders, they must be apprehended, they must be tried, they must be sentenced. Right now, 97% chances are there, as per my OIA, is that they are easily getting away. And the catch and release policy, this need to stop. And also the ministers need to be with us. The problem is that whenever we are trying to get the ministers for a meeting, they are not taking it seriously. They are not caring for the victims. They are not trying to work with the victims. Here, no one is talking about the victims, you have heard. Yeah. The Minister Porter Williams, we had mentioned, we had sent the invitation to her as well to meet with her. We didn't have the chance, we were not given the chance to meet. Minister Michael Wood, even the City Rail-Link, there are lots of businesses, they are crying for help, but Michael Wood has never been there to see those businesses, right? And that's in OIA on records. Now, the next thing, we also know that the government is going to announce closure of these cigarette selling outlets from 8,000 to 500. So guess what is going to happen to the crime scene if that happens? My worry is if that happens, there would be a serious crime spree. And that's going to be, a number of people are going to be assaulted, and my fear is someone somewhere will going to die. If that happens, the blood would be on the hands of the minister. You know, the black market will explode if that happens, and we are going to get hit, and the gangs are going to benefit out of it. So, and also we welcome the implementation of a new crime unit, what we were talking about. But here, one thing I wanted to share with you all. You know how they were talking about that the lighting and keep the windows clean and all. That's not something new. That the police has already tried that model 4 years ago, 3 years ago. The name was Operation Dukan. So this is not something new coming up. This is the same wheel that they are trying to invent. So we need something new which really bring the enforcement and also the harsher penalties to the offenders. We shouldn't be waiting with the ambulance down the cliff. And also about the young crime, we need to you know, this is a broken window theory. We need to stop those young offenders before they take those bad routes. And that's not happening. The young offenders, they know there are flaws in law. The criminals and also the organized gangs, they are using those offenders. They know that they would get easily back into the society. So, but even when the police apprehend someone, when it goes to the court system are too weak. Our judicial system is too weak. They are letting those offenders go easily back into those streets. And the judicial system is failing our police and the communities. So we have a serious problem here. And what we would like the Prime Minister to come into the scene, she need to take the control, and she need to show the steel and see that ministers are delivering. Because the communities need to feel safer. These business owners, they should not be living in fear every day.
Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. To stay up to date with all the latest news from the New Zealand Herald, click the subscribe button below or check out one of the videos here, and head over to nzherald.co.nz for more details on these stories and more.